season can't end quickly enough for the Frankfurt Galaxy. The Galaxy have fallen apart with 6 straight defeats. Last week they were torn apart by Sacramento, the Surge scoring at will in a 51-7 rout. San Antonio are looking to make it 2 out of 2 in Europe. Last week they shut out Barcelona. Today, Ivory Lee Brown and his buddies will expect to keep the Riders galloping along the playoff trail. This is Nick Halling welcoming you to the Waldstadion in Frankfurt for Week 9 in the World League as the Galaxy entertain the San Antonio Riders. It's an important game for the Riders, who still have it all to do to qualify from the competitive North America West Division. One slip and they could be overtaken by both Sacramento and Birmingham. The European division tells its own sorry tale, where all 3 teams are struggling, none more so than the Galaxy. They even lost to the Ohio Glory a couple of weeks ago. That's how bad things have become for coach Jack Elway's team. Well, Elway hung his head in despair last week in Sacramento, watching his team being outclassed on both sides of the ball. Since losing quarterback Mike Perez in Week 4, Elway's Galaxy have probably been the weakest team in the World League. In contrast, the Riders are solid and balanced. Strong safety Chris Oldham leads an aggressive secondary that hits hard and comes up with plenty of big plays. On offense, Ivory Lee Brown, who gained over 100 yards against the Dragons last week, is the World League's premier ground gainer. And when they don't run, the Riders put it in the air behind the arm of quarterback Mike Johnson, whose form in the second half of the season has been very impressive. So everything points to a struggle for the Galaxy, but these fans are sure to give them a lift. Our commentators for Frankfurt versus San Antonio are Dick Vermeil and Roger Zweibel.
The 3 Operation Discovery players for Frankfurt are their tri-captains tonight. The first time that's happened, and Frankfurt did win the toss, and they have elected to receive. The San Antonio Riders out on the field getting set to kick off. And one of the Operation Discovery guys, number 77 there, Jerry Olszewski. He's 6'4", 275, 25 years of age. And there is maybe the best player, Olaf Hampel. This man is 6'6", 305 pounds. And Dick, you feel he's got a real future in football.
Oh, I do, Ken. He moved. Claude Gilbert, the defensive coordinator, told me if he'd already been through the United States college football program, he'd be playing in the NFL today.
He is huge in his lower body.
Oh,
strong
man.
legs and hips, and he plays defensive tackle, and he plays a key role. Consequently, because the European teams have the Operation Discovery players, they have 3 more players in the roster, so they have 39 players. As Jim Gallery will get set to kick it off, Lou Barnes, 83, and Richard Buchanan, 89, back for Frankfurt, who last week got thumped 51-7 by Sacramento, as San Antonio picked up the victory in Barcelona. And San Antonio's looking to become the first team in the World League from North America to win both games.
That's right.
Over in Europe. So we are set to go here from Frankfurt. Natural turf at Waldstadion, just about 15-20 minutes from downtown Frankfurt. And that kick will go out of bounds at the 10-yard line. Lou Barnes was the man on the far side, and
ball will be spotted at the 35-yard line.
Ball will be brought out to the 35-yard line. And the quarterback for the Frankfurt Galaxy, Chris Cochran, young man, played his college football at Cornell. Good first start, but last week he struggled. Backs are like this: Johnson, Henry, Bartolo starting at fullback, Chad Fortune at tight end, Lou Barnes a wide receiver. So 2 tight ends. And then up front, Mikkel Poe, Diaz, Infante, Frank, and Bernard. Tony Baker, the outstanding back, will not start. There's a chance he will play. He pulled a calf muscle the other day in practice. So Steve Bartolo from Colorado State University, just 3 carries for 7 yards coming into the game this year. Usually a blocking back, will take it across the 35 to the 36. And defensively for San Antonio, White, Ross, and Fears up front. The linebackers, Ledbetter was the World League Defensive Player of the Week last week with Walton, Hinton, and Cooks. The secondary, Chris Oldham had an outstanding game last week, and Bobby Humphrey, the veteran. Greg Lee getting the start this week as it comes up to a 2nd and 9 for Frankfurt. Fumbled by Cochran. And looks like San Antonio football 94, Mark Ledbetter comes up with it. And that just seemed to be miscommunication, or Chris Cochran simply losing the handle. And Dick Vermeil, they have just fumbled it so often this year and not gotten it back.
Well, you know, he was going the wrong way, and quarterback going to the right, everyone else working left. He tripped on his offensive lineman, lost the football in that move, turnover right off the bat. They came into this ball game minus 13 in turnovers. That's last in the league. You don't win doing that.
Unbelievable. Galaxy turning the ball over. They've turned it over now 24 times, 25 make it, with 13 fumbles and 12 interceptions. As coming to the near side for the San Antonio Riders on their first down was Ivory Lee Brown. Mike Johnson is their quarterback. There you see Johnson, 3 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Very versatile athlete. Ivory Lee Brown, leading rusher in the World League. Matter of fact, he's got more rushing yards than the entire Frankfurt Galaxy offense. And then up front, Shorts and Norgard, Vitale, Kiselak, and Williams. The offensive line for San Antonio. Second down and 11. Yard loss, Ivory Lee Brown. With number 30, Cisco Richard in the slot to the near side. Johnson is hit. He throws it up for grabs. It's going to be way short.
See, he read the Bear blitz coming there, tried to get it off quickly. He audibled, but they still couldn't pick up Tim Brody, number 46, and forced him to throw the ball quickly. That is the game plan today.
Kevin Hendricks and Gary Howe, George Murioka, the men up front. And the backers, Vepi Pau, Willie Don Wright, the linebackers on a third down and 11. Johnny Thomas standing out in the secondary, getting the start this week. Barcelona only, the Riders with a third down situation. Johnson nailed, but he gets away. Still on his feet. This is what Mike Johnson can do so well for you. He can run with the football as he gets down to the 22-yard line, where Jeff Hammerschmidt will make the tackle.
This is better than a quarterback draw, because the quarterback gets a deeper, more deliberate drop. Good pressure right up inside. You'll see there's pressure right there by Gary Howe, number 64, forced him to run. A zone defense, they should be able to collapse and make that play much quicker. They weren't in man-to-man.
First down and 10. 80 Wayne Walker split to the top of your screen. And Titus Dixon, 89 at the bottom. Penalty marker goes down as Ivory Lee Brown gets the football. He's hit from behind 50, Kevin Woolfolk, third-year pro out of Portland State University. And boy,
we got a lock up there.
They got the lock with the face mask. That's 78, Kevin Hendricks. It looked like Big Doug Williams there, 75.
Save some of that energy, guys. Especially you 300-pounders. Look at that guy.
Locking horns in a hurry.
It's amazing how much energy these big linemen expel when they start grabbing each other. No one throwing any punches. They're just wrestling face mask to face mask. They're trying to get them separated. The other guy said, "Why don't you go first?"
Well, the officials are talking long about this. When there was a penalty marker down before that action happened in the interior of the line. Gary Lane is the referee. Understand you coached him, Dick, is that right?
Yeah, when I was special team coach at the Rams, he ran through.
We have an offside, number 75 on the defense. Personal foul, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 75 on the defense, number 78 on the offense. Penalties offset, repeat first down.
You want to explain that to me, Dick? Can you try?
No, I just, other than that, they don't have. They must have meant 75 on offense, because they said defense. There is no 75
Williams
on the field.
is coming out of the game now, so he's going to have to sit out for a couple of plays.
One way to get a rest.
And Mike Nord, 73, will check in on a 1st and 10 at the 22. So Nord now at right tackle. Donnie Whitaker getting the start at tight end. A lot of movement there. More penalty markers down as Ivory Lee Brown spins and falls down at the 27-yard line.
You know what happened there? The tight end was shifting, not going in motion. The quarterback called a snap count, not in coordination with the shift, and the ball was snapped as the man was shifting to get into a second tight end position.
Sounds very confusing to me. That's obviously why the play was fouled up.
You know, San Antonio last week against Barcelona, the first time they touched the ball, they drove right down the field for a touchdown. Very well-executed drive. See right now the tight end, he's shifting over to get in position to tight end, but the quarterback had called the snap on an early count, not allowing for the shift move. That one's on Mike Johnson.
So we've had a lot of flags so far to start this game. The penalty is now being signaled against Frankfurt.
Oh, jeez. Look at Jack Elway. He says, you know, when you lose, the cold beer doesn't even taste good.
No. It's 1st and 5 at the 17 as 82 Ronnie Williams will move to the tight end spot on the far side. Double tight ends in there right now as they give it to Ivory Lee Brown inside the 20 to the 18-yard line where Pat Moore will make the tackle. We mentioned the Galaxy problem, 6 straight losses, 5 straight home losses going back to last year. They haven't won a game since week 8 when they beat Birmingham. Last in the World League with 14 touchdown passes and 198 points allowed. And their top 2 quarterbacks started the year out with injuries. Mike Perez won their first 2 games. Then they lost the next 2 with Perez. And after that, it's been all downhill on a 2nd and 2 at the 14.
They want to shift that tight end over there, and if they can, then audible. He's audibling now against a blitz look.
Now they're putting Ivory Lee Brown in a slot out there. And they'll throw it far side, and it's dropped over there. Walker, the intended receiver, Wayne Walker, third-year pro from Texas Tech. He was the subject of conversation. We were at the Galaxy practice the other day. Who was the fastest man on the team? Was it Titus Dixon? Was it Wayne Walker?
Well, people say Wayne Walker as he was there, you know, probably the only reason he's not in the National Football League is he is not 100% consistent in catching balls like that.
That's Mike Perez out of San Jose State, who started the first 4 games of the year. Dick Frankfurt won their first 2, then lost 2, and then they lost him with the injury, and he has certainly been missed. On a 3rd down and 2 at the 14, motion man there was Donta Whitaker as Ivory Lee Brown busting it down near the 10-yard line. Going to be very close to the first down for the big 250-pounder out of Arkansas Pine Bluff. Pat Moore was the man in on the tackle. And Dick, you mentioned last week that they had such a good drive to open up that game. They moved it right down on Barcelona over 70 yards. It was a very impressive drive to start the game.
It was the best, I think, executed drive that we saw all year by an offensive football team. It wasn't a lot of big plays, just good, consistent football, mixing run and pass. Excellent job.
Doug Williams is checked back into the game at right tackle after sitting out that 2-play suspension. Dixon split to the near side, Walker to the top of your screen, and that's Dixon in motion. As they'll give it to Ivory Lee Brown. Can he outrun everyone to the corner? Didn't quite get there.
See, that's what's amazing to me. A guy can start an inside run at 250 pounds and have the quickness to bounce it outside and head it to the end zone and darn near get it there. See, now he's going to run a little draw up inside. It's plugged. He bounces to the outside. Now look at these lighter, smaller defensive backs try to catch him. And it's tough. Once they get there, they can't catch him.
He knocked the cone over right there.
Here it is again. See, he wanted to go up inside. He couldn't get there. Now the speed to go ahead and make that next move and the power to run over the contact.
1st and goal. What do you think? Ivory Lee Brown will get the call. Oh, he's stuck.
Good defense.
Good job right there. That was 78 Kevin Hendricks who met him. 2nd-year pro from South Carolina. Hendricks, 6'2" and 250, really busted through there and stood Ivory Lee Brown straight up.
He really did a nice job to get there that cleanly. He had to beat the offensive tackle, Doug Williams, right off the snap.
That knocked him back to the 2-yard line, so a loss of more than a yard on that play.
That's the best way to stop him. Don't let him get his steam up.
And that'll bring up 2nd and goal. Johnson, option, doesn't go anywhere. He's met right there by 76, George Muraoka. Rookie out of San Jose State, 6'1" and 275. A lot of former Spartans on this Frankfurt team.
Well, 2 former San Jose State coaches. An option to the left, new in the offense. They have not run it. Good penetration defensively right there. Quarterback could not pitch the football.
There's a look at Muraoka, 6'1" and 275. 3rd down situation, 3rd and goal. The ball is now back at the 5-yard line for Mike Johnson and San Antonio.
Roger, this is really long yardage. Boy, getting this 5 yards down there is tough.
Brown's in the slot to the far side. Quick toss intended for Titus Dixon. Back on the coverage was Dale Joseph, a 1st-year pro from Howard Payne down in Texas, who's getting a start this week because the secondary, Dick, really banged up for Frankfurt.
They have never been put together as they were last year. One of the best secondaries in football, one of the best defenses. Here he had pressure on him all the way there. Willie Don Wright, 59, puts the pressure on him, and he just couldn't set up and throw properly. See, left-handed looking all the way. See pressure in his face? That was 29, not 59. That was Billy Reagan's, a safety coming on the blitz.
23-yard attempt. Jim Gallery is 5 of 5 from 20 to 29 yards. And that is good.
Here on Screen Sport, where the San Antonio Riders lead the Frankfurt Galaxy 3-0. And after an exchange of possessions, the Galaxy now have a 1st and 10 at the Riders' 30-yard line.
And we welcome you back to Wlaf Stadium here in Frankfurt, Germany. And this crowd just loves getting into it. You know, the football in Europe, the soccer, it's just continuous play. But here, because of the stoppage of play, they play music, they got dancers, and they get the crowd really into it. And they are right now enjoying it because the Galaxy's got something going. 1st and 10. At the 30-yard line. They give it to Bartolo again. Tries the left side inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. And with Dick Vermeil and Jim Valvano, I'm Roger Twibell. 51-7. Frankfurt got beat in Sacramento last week. You'd think coming all the way back to Europe, they wouldn't be up for this game, a 2-6 record, but you like them to practice.
What that does, you have any pride at all, you really get yourself ready to play the next one. And what it does, it negatively sets up the other football team. It's hard as a coach to get that team, San Antonio, up mentally prepared to play a team that was beaten 51-7.
And San Antonio has Sacramento next week, and that could be for the division championship. So I mean, this is big here tonight for the Riders of San Antonio. As Cochran comes to the near side, it's picked off. It's picked off at the 29-yard line by number 24 there, Chris Oldham. Chris Oldham of the San Antonio Riders with his 3rd interception of the year, as a penalty marker is thrown now, and the officials are going to talk about it for a moment. Chris Cochran looking over to the side.
See, Chris Oldham was up on the line of scrimmage as a strong safety, not back.
Personal foul, number 51 on the return team. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
Okay, Patrick Hinton with the personal foul on the return, so the interception is good there.
Yes, it is. You'll see it. Oldham would be right on the line of scrimmage to the right side of the screen there. Normally they're back off, and he just did not read that properly. It's too good a position to make the interception.
And a penalty marker goes down. Mike Johnson throwing it downfield. Knocked away. The intended receiver was Wayne Walker, and on the coverage was Johnny Thomas, a 4th-year pro out of Baylor who's coming off a severe knee injury, Dick, that kept him out of football for a couple of years.
Well, he was property of the Washington Redskins, and they sent him here. Good man-to-man coverage.
Offside, number 78, lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, repeat 1st down.
Kevin Hendricks, the man lined up in the neutral zone, penalty against Frankfurt.
Very good coverage, though. Man-to-man, no help from the safety. Ball thrown pretty well. He's right where he has to be. Good jump. The ball thrown over the outside shoulder, a little bit tougher on him, but he makes a good play. You know, they were together, those people. Wayne Walker, 80, Johnny Thomas, number 34 at the San Diego Chargers.
Jack Elway, the head coach, formerly at Stanford, San Jose State, Cal State Northridge, on a 1st and 5. Johnson throwing to the far side. His receiver over there is number 86, Lee Morris, and he is out of bounds close to the 1st down. Morris, 5th-year pro from Oklahoma, as we love that sound of 1st quarter statistics.
You know, the score is 3-0, Roger, and the stats pretty much tell the picture. Very even football game right now. The difference, of course, San Antonio being in the red zone and coming out for the field goal. Turnovers evil. Very even football game.
Welcome you back to Wlaf Stadium here in Frankfurt. Permanent seating of 35,000, and then they can get about 15,000 more standing room in. And Dick, it's amazing here. Well, we got a few bag heads that are embarrassed with that 6-game losing streak. But I mean, how would you like to be on a 6-game losing streak and have the enthusiasm behind you that this crowd brings?
But you know, they say in the second half, if you aren't winning, they'll cheer for the winning team.
1st and 10 for San Antonio, going downfield. A man wide open there. Number 86 is Lee Morris, so all of a sudden Mike Johnson has found Lee Morris on the far side and the near side of the field. Dale Joseph made the tackle.
See what they did? They used play action passing away from the throw. See, action to the right, fake inside. Now he turns back as a left-hander and throws it back to the left on an out-and-up move, see? And that hurts that defender. Many times he's caught back and looking back inside at the quarterback, and that receiver slipped right up outside him.
Lee Morris came into this game with just 6 receptions on the year. Now he's made 2 in a row. Of course, he played at Oklahoma, so he's not used to catching a lot of passes in a game. 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line. They give it to Ivory Lee Brown, and he is stuffed behind the line of scrimmage by George Murioka, number 76 out of San Jose State, one of 6 Spartan players on this Galaxy roster.
Good quick move. He had to stunt to get down in there, meaning stunt, not a straight ahead charge. He took an angle charge down to the inside, and here he is. He didn't get cut off properly, and he's into the backfield making the play.
Dick, last week San Antonio had great balance. 12 first downs rushing, 11 first down passing, 198 yards rushing, 197 passing. They're giving us that same mix so far here tonight.
Doing a good job.
2nd down, Mike Johnson throws it to the far side, and that pass should have been caught. Once again, Lee Morris, 5'10", 170-pounder, former Sooner from Oklahoma.
See, he turned back and was falling back away from the football rather than just running out to try to catch the sideline like you'd normally like that ball thrown to the outside, see, and that was thrown behind him. Yes, he should have caught the ball.
3rd down situation, Cedric Stallworth, 27, and Joe Greenwood, 28, will check into the game on a 3rd down and 12 at the 31.
Let's see if they blitz this. It looks like they're going to go zone. Last time they blitzed this situation.
4 wideouts for the San Antonio Riders. Johnson looks the other way, and he finally throws it out to his back out there. Richard will get down to the 22-yard line where Greg Eglin, number 23, a recent signee, will come up to make the tackle.
See, they dropped off, only rushed 3. They covered with 8 people. No one to throw to. He's still flushed. He runs to the outside there. You'll see him flush out here, coming toward us. He lays it off, but hard to make the long run in that situation. People are playing zone. They can see that ball thrown, and they flash and make the play.
Now, San Antonio's looking at a field goal attempt here.
12-13.
Gallery now to attempt the field goal, 39 yards. 4 of 6, and they're going to fake it. Sullivan's got it. Look at this pass. He throws. Ronnie Williams has it. Williams, touchdown. What a pass.
That was not a fake. That was a bad snap, fumble. He picked it up, and they went into their fire call. They heard it. This is all coached and rehearsed, and it very seldom works. But ladies and gentlemen, it just worked. Can you see that?
Number 1, Kent Sullivan, a 31-yard touchdown pass. Describe this one for me, will you, old quarterback coach?
They do not handle a snap, or it's a bad snap. You'll see it right there. Cut Sullivan. It's a high snap. He drops the ball. Now he just picks it up. Normally you start yelling fire, fire, or Oski to let people know it's happened. Now watch this pass. Watch that. That looks like one of Valvano's one-hand jumpers. That does. Look at that thing. And it works. See, no offensive lineman downfield. Tight end catches the ball.
And for Ronnie Williams, his first touchdown reception of the year. Gallery to kick the extra point, and he's got it. Gallery now perfect, 13 of 13 of the year. We have now seen it all, folks.
Well, Frankfurt had to punt on their next possession, and the Riders took advantage again. Here's kicker Jim Gallery with a 40-yard field goal attempt. The kick is good, and that increases the Riders' advantage to 13 points with 6.5 minutes remaining in the first half. We'll pick up the action once again on Frankfurt's next possession, and they're still struggling. The ball is spotted on Frankfurt's 23-yard line, where Robbie Keane is getting ready to punt on 4th and 11. Time to rejoin Dick Vermeil and Roger Twibell.
He's a better punter than 7th in the World League too, but in doing both, it's tough, Rod. Look at that punt.
That's a beauty. Nice high spiral. Oh, and a penalty marker goes down. A penalty marker down at the 37-yard line, because for Frankfurt, Greenwood, Joe Greenwood, 28. I don't know exactly what he was thinking about.
Joe, hey, Joe, he fair caught that. Oh, he didn't. I didn't allow it. He put his hand up in plenty of time.
That's Mean Joe L.C. Greenwood,
yeah.
Right?
He's been injured too.
Well, obviously he was trying to time it to hit the man as soon as he caught it.
You can see he was just not looking at the return man.
On the covering team, 15-yard penalty.
That's Mike Perez right there in the straight close.
See his hand in the air right there, the left center of your screen. You'll see him right here. See, it's up there. Defender is far enough away from him, coming to the right side there. He had plenty of time. I don't know what he wanted. Maybe he just wanted to get on TV. Hey, Joe, you're wrong.
No, it happens in football sometimes, Dick. When you're playing, you just go brain dead for a few moments. And
that happened to me before I got in the game.
Riders now, Cisco Richard, and he'll get it down to the 45-yard line. He's been very productive. 19 carries, 97 yards. That's over 5 yards a carry. Also can catch the football. Willie Don Wright, 59, the right outside linebacker. Property of the Phoenix Cardinals. 31 tackles, 4 sacks, 4 fumble recoveries. He's been probably their most active linebacker, along with Pat Moore.
He has been, and tonight he's playing a double role. They're putting him to where they think they're going to run the football, flopping him to the strength of the formation.
Williams will come to set to the near side. He's number 82 on a 2nd and 6. And they give it to Richard again. Birmingham's keeping their hopes alive. They've, of course, got to win their last 2 games. Sacramento and San Antonio play next week. Birmingham plays Ohio, 3rd and 1 at the 40-yard line as Richard gets down to the 36-yard line. The Birmingham football team, Dick, with the 5-2-1 record, they could possibly sneak in for the division championship.
Well, they have a shot at it, as you say. They were a solid football team when we did one of their broadcasts. Here they are at 5-2-1. We did the ball game that they beat San Antonio. Actually, San Antonio should have beaten them.
Yeah. So Williams comes to the near side. Richard gets it again, and he's stacked up there. Kevin Woolfolk, number 50. With 2:40 to go first half, one of the first men to hit him. The playoff picture sort of panned out a little bit last night with Sacramento winning, and that eliminated all hope for the New York, New Jersey Knights. And now it comes down to the 3 teams in the West. And as I mentioned, Sacramento and San Antonio play next week, and Birmingham and Ohio are matched up. 2nd and 10.
Looks like blitz. Yeah.
Johnson going downfield. Pass is caught there. 86. Lee Morris having a big game. Greg Eglin on the coverage. And Mike Johnson 30 yards to his wideout.
Man-to-man blitz coverage. Everybody picked up. Good, solid protection. Time to throw. A corner pattern to the slot man. Throws it right where he has to. High end to the outside. Defender not on him. Knocks him out of bounds. Good throw. Good route. You know, the tight ends have not did not catch a touchdown pass coming into this ball game until that one they caught on a botched field goal.
Mike Johnson, 7 of 14 for 169 yards today, and since he became a starter, he's completed 61% of his passes. His first time out this year, just 40-some% as he scrambles and finds Ronnie Williams as tight end. And for Williams, his 2nd touchdown reception of the day. And for Mike Johnson, 6 yards on the touchdown pass, his 4th touchdown pass of the year.
You know, coming into this ball game, you could ignore San Antonio tight ends because they hadn't caught a touchdown all season. Here they are catching one. It was a broken play. Yes, you'll see Williams to the left side of your screen. He blocked first, saw the scramble, released and went inside, catches the touchdown. Really the first legitimate touchdown caught by a tight end all season.
Williams out of Oklahoma State, former college quarterback, as Jim Gallery comes on. He's been perfect this year in point afters, and he still is. He's 14 of 14 this year, and he's been a very productive place kicker for San Antonio as they move out to a 20-0 lead with 1:53 left to go.
You'll see it again. He did not want to throw it to Williams. He runs a little action there. He wanted to throw back. It's not there. Good coverage. He scrambles out. Williams released to the right. No one picked him up. Touchdown.
And that touchdown marked the final score of the first half. The Galaxy down by 20. time, the visiting San Antonio Riders lead the Frankfurt Galaxy by 20 unanswered points. But as we start the second half, the Galaxy have already had a break, as we'll hear from the official.
Holding, number 54 on the return team, half the distance to the goal line, first down.
That holding penalty on the second half kickoff means that the Riders will now have to start deep in their own territory. They have a 1st and 10 from their own 8.
Ivory Lee Brown has a twisted ankle. They are going to try to rest him in the second half and see if they can hold on to this lead without him. 11 carries, 49 yards for the World League's leading rusher. Of course, they've got a big game at home next week against Sacramento. So they'll go with Cisco Richard in the backfield. And that's Ronnie Williams, the tight end. That'll move over to the near side. Johnson will throw wide to Titus Dixon. Over on the far side of the field, Greg Eglin, 23.
Now see, again, Mike Johnson threw that ball to the wrong side of the receiver. He could make that catch, yes, but you'd like the quarterback to throw it so the receiver can always catch and run, and that was thrown way behind him, and he had to turn around.
Mike Johnson began his college career at Arizona State, didn't work out there, went to junior college, and finished up at Akron University. Johnson, 6'2", 190, 24 years of age. 2nd and 10 now at the 8-yard line, and that's Williams again. Will move to the near side. Cisco Richard will cut it up the middle, and he'll get across the 10 to the 12. Richard's been a nice player for him out of Northeast Louisiana. Pat Moore, number 55, the right inside linebacker from the University of Florida. 35 tackles on the year, plus leads the special team players in tackles.
Yeah, he's been one of those guys that plays better than he's supposed to all through his career. He walked on in college, was not given a scholarship, and then he started as a freshman without a scholarship.
See, that just shows you coaches don't have all the answers, right?
I have never claimed to have all the answers.
He was a 4-year starter. Dick led the team in tackles his final 2 years. 300 career tackles, as on a 3rd down, Johnson. Good pass right there to the 25-yard line. Titus Dixon makes the reception as Greg Eglin was on the tackle, and that's a 1st down for the San Antonio Riders.
See, good protection, time to throw that deep zone pattern. You'll see the outside receiver at the top of your screen. Now he'll run a turn in. See him turn in, read the zone, settle down right there in the hole. Good throw, good timing.
Ivory Lee Brown is checked into the game, big number 33, and that's Richard, who will come to the tight end spot on the near side. On 1st and 10, Ivory Lee Brown is stuck right there at the 28-yard line. Number 50, Kevin Woolfolk, was the first man to hit him, and then Gary Howe got in on the action.
Well, Ivory's got to keep running because he wants to win the bonus for the leading rusher, too, you know.
I asked him before the game, I said, you know, you get a bonus for being the league's leading rusher. I said, how much is it? He goes, I got to check in on that.
He better.
He said, I got to find out about that deal. Second down, and let's call it about 8.
He audibled here.
Both wideouts to the near side. Play action. Johnson throwing underneath, just off the outstretched hands of Titus Dixon, number 89. 2nd-year pro out of Troy State in Alabama. Greg Eglin, his former teammate, was there on the coverage.
Claude Gilbert, the defensive coordinator, is a blitz coach, pressure coach on defense, and he just can't do it like he would like to, so they go to the zone, but that's not the kind of defense they've been playing coming through training camp and early season. Then they get to the zone, they don't play that real well.
3rd down and 8, they'll go with 4 wideouts, and Cisco Richard, the wing on the near side. Johnson down the middle's got a man, Colbert. Darryl Colbert needs 1 block as he's run out of bounds at the 27-yard line by Jeff Hammerschmidt. 81, Darryl Colbert out of Texas Southern.
Again, you have to have time to throw this kind of pass. Good pass protection there by Shorts. He picks up the stunts, comes out, sends him out outside. Now you'll see the square in pattern coming from the lower bottom score of the screen. There he is, number 81, coming, running in front of that zone, and now he turns on the afterburner. Oh, look at him go. Quick as you, Roger.
Yeah, in my dreams.
Hey, you got that knee in shape this week.
44 yards on the reception. As Dixon comes in motion. Play action, Johnson. Oh, what a hit right there, but he held on to it. Tough guy, Titus Dixon. Eglin and Woolfolk put the sandwich on him at the 15-yard line, and the little man hung on to it.
He's lucky he's still alive. Here he is, he's crossing right in the middle of your screen. Number 89, Eglin, number 23, is closing on him. Now watch the safety and linebacker right here. Oh, man. And he held on to the football. That's tough to do.
14 yards on the pickup. Titus Dixon, only 5'8" and 158. 1st and 10. Ball spotted at the 14. Ivory, Lee Brown to the 10 and to the 9-yard line. Now the question we have to ask is, when does the crowd here at Bald Stadium start cheering for the San Antonio Riders? Because the last time Frankfurt was here and the team was the Orlando Thunder, it was sometime in the second half, Dick, when the crowd all of a sudden turned on the home team and just started cheering for the opponents.
They probably switch your bets right there.
In a 38-0 victory. 2nd down and 7. They'll give it to Brown. Brown inside the 5, still going. Brown to the 3-yard line and very close to the 1st down.
See, San Antonio's taken the fight out of the Galaxy. They started the ball game with some real spirit, and they had all week had worked so hard, and they were tough and ready to play. But San Antonio's just kicking the heck out of them right on the line of scrimmage right now.
Last week, the Sacramento offense, Dick, had the ball for over 40 minutes. I mean, this defense has been on the field a lot the last 6 weeks because of the turnovers the offense has had. The European division coming into this game has been outscored 124-7 in the last 4 games, and 3 of the 4 games were shutouts. So I don't know what it is this year, if it's the enhancement players that have helped the North American teams, or maybe the North American teams finally figured out about the travel over here and such, but it's been a huge turnaround.
I think the league deliberately tried to make that league stronger because it was weak last year, and they did a good job, and the European teams didn't catch up. Plus, there have been a lot of injuries over here.
Yeah. That is the 1st down. Mike Riley sending the 93 back into the game, and that for the San Antonio Riders is Willie Fears. So now Willie is going to do what Mark Ledbetter does sometimes, and look where they line him up on the right side.
As the tight end.
Yeah. They line him up as the tight end on the right side, the defensive player, and they'll bring Whitaker in motion as Johnson wants to throw it. He does, and it's dropped by Cisco Richard. Richard, laying on his back in the end zone, had a chance at catching the football and couldn't haul it in. Woolfolk had the coverage, the linebacker.
That was a good call. If you're going to throw the ball, you might as well throw it on 2nd down. That's a lot tougher to throw the ball on this next down to 3rd down. Here it is. He's just throwing the play action pass down the left-hand bottom of your screen. Again, the ball's thrown behind him. Tough when you're moving away from it to spin around and make that play.
2nd and goal. And once again, that's Whitaker in motion. They'll give it to Brown. He is stopped there. 59 was a man. Willie Don Wright got through there to jam the play up. A penalty marker is down as Brown got inside the 5 back to the line of scrimmage. Did you ever have anybody with hair that long play for you?
Only in college. Only at UCLA.
Oh, back
had
in
a wide
UCLA
receiver
in the early
long,
70s.
Anderson,
huh?
my split end.
Norm Anderson.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any hair now, does he?
I don't know. I haven't seen him in a
I've
long
seen
time.
Norm.
Pretty good receiver, though. Did bug me.
Well, they've marked the ball at the 5-yard line.
Holding 85 on the offense. 10-yard
Dante
penalty.
Whitaker,
Repeat,
the motion
2nd down.
man out of Mississippi Valley.
Here he comes right in the middle of your screen. Number 85. He's going to try a hook block, and he hooks. He's got his right hand on him. Oh, now, oh yeah, he's there. He's got his left hand on him as well.
Well, that was Willie Don Wright who stopped up
He's
the
going to
play.
hold. He ought to have purple gloves. Those white gloves are glaring.
2nd and goal now back at the 13. They're the white gloves. Draw play. Richard stumbles inside the 10 to the 9-yard line, where Bill Reagan's first-year pro from Florida State University, one of the men to trip him up.
You know what they like down here? They like the quarterback draw. I've seen them run it before. I've seen them run in the practice field the other day. They like to spread you out, go 1 receiver in the backfield, 2 slot formation, slots on each side of the formation, and then run the quarterback draw. Maybe they won't do it now, but it's a safe play, and they can go ahead and kick the field goal if they don't get it.
3rd and goal at the 9. 9:18 to go, 3rd quarter. Whitaker and Dixon flip-flop out on the far side at the top of your screen. Now they'll throw it to Dixon underneath. Titus Dixon, touchdown!
good thing they didn't run the quarterback draw.
Well, you saw Titus Dixon, 89, and Whitaker, 85, flip-flop on the outside, and then that play come underneath.
You'll see he steps. He has to catch this ball behind the line of scrimmage, which he does. Now he gets blocked downfield from his offensive lineman. Nobody on him. He walks in.
Dick, that's a perfect example of no bump rule. Eglin was so far off of him that he had no chance.
And I think Eglin blew the coverage, too.
Gallery to attempt the point after. And he is perfect this year. 15.
The crowd's turning, Raj.
Yeah, no, the crowd has just turned. The crowd is now cheering for San Antonio. Well, 27-0, San Antonio leads it. That song is always look on the bright side of life. And when you're down by 27, that's what you got to do. But these fans are great. They're having a terrific time here as Lou Barnes will take the kickoff. You'd like to see them have something to cheer about. Maybe they can cheer for Jimmy Valvano. Jim?
Hey, Raj, these are my kind of fans because now they are rooting for the San Antonio Riders. They did it after the last touchdown and extra point. They're going with the squad that's on top. I kind of like that, Raj.
Oh, hey, as a coach, you got to love that, huh? Well, unfortunately, this is a pretty beat-up Frankfurt team. And San Antonio is playing awfully well right now. They won last week in Barcelona, shut out there. Hey, come to Europe and shut them out.
You know what impresses me the most about them? Yes, they're playing well, but to maintain that mental discipline over a 2-week period of time over here when in this kind of a situation is tough to do.
Catch made on the near side. Jason Johnson, even though the ball was thrown behind him, it was a nice job by the former Illinois player. Chris Oldham was there on the coverage, 20 yards on the pickup.
Well, that's what they have to do. They have to get the ball in the hands of the wide receivers. And sometimes as a coach, you can be so careful of not making a mistake, or help your quarterback not to make a mistake by being conservative, and you almost create the mistakes for him.
1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Bartolo still grabbing, still driving, gets to the 45 right at the line of scrimmage where Terrence Cooks was the first man to get him. Then Tim Walton came up to put the stops and take it away, Dick.
Well, you know, it's 305 yards total offense to Frankfurt. I'm surprised it's that close from sitting up here and watching it the first half. But the thing they're really doing is throwing the ball so well, Raj. 222 yards in the first half. If they keep that up, they'll set a World League record in the second half. 2nd and 10
at the 45-yard line. 2 wide receivers out at the top of your screen, Buchanan and Johnson. Cochran will throw it out, and that is number 89, Richard Buchanan of Northwestern. It's very close to the first down. Chris Oldham from Oregon, number 24, made the tackle. Buchanan, 5'10" and 172, came into this game averaging nearly 20 yards of reception.
He's an enhancement player from the Miami Dolphins.
Darryl Clack had the touchdown run, and London Crossman, the 87-yard interception return. Boy, what a year difference it's been for him. The World Bowl MVP and struggling along.
Looks
3rd
like
down
blitz.
and 2. They're showing it. 0 for 5 on 3rd down situations. They're going to throw it up top.
He's got it.
Reception is made by Jason Johnson as the defender fell down. The defender there was Bobby Humphrey, number 48. No penalty marker. Humphrey's arguing it's going to be a touchdown. And boy, the fans here finally have something to cheer about. 47 yards from Cochran to Jason Johnson, his first touchdown reception of the year.
Tight man-to-man coverage. You'll see the blitz coming. Everybody's coming after him. It does a nice job of laying up outside. See, and now Bobby Humphrey, 48, trips and falls right there. Jason Johnson catches it. And Rod, that's the first touchdown reception all year for the outside receiver.
Yeah.
Jason Johnson.
Robbie Keane will come on to attempt the point after. He's 13 of 13. And make it 14 of 14. You know, the San Antonio defense had not allowed a touchdown pass in the last 21 quarters. April 11th against Sacramento was the last time.
On Screen Sport, the Galaxy getting on the board at last. And as we rejoin play at the start of the 4th quarter, they have possession again.
Final 15 minutes here at Wald Stadium in Frankfurt. Roger Twibell, Dick Ramil, Jim Valvano along with you. 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. San Antonio leads at 27-7. Mike Johnson will come near side. Got his receiver Titus Dixon at the 35-yard line. Greg Edlin makes the tackle right there. There's Edlin, Arkansas Pine Bluff. Switched uniforms this week. He went from the playoffs to the continent.
And he just got here late Thursday, so he put the pads on for the first time Friday, picked up the terminology, and here he is playing.
Well, how about for getting here, number 21 for the Frankfurt Galaxy, Gerald Hudson, arrived this morning from Dallas and suited up. 2nd and 6. Richard eludes one tackle, and then he's brought down there by 64. Gary Howe, the nose tackle out of the University of Colorado.
He has played well the entire ball game. He's been a factor. Even when he didn't make the play, he's created havoc inside. He's gotten penetration and forced linemen off their course and pulling to block somebody. He's done a good job. He's played very hard. I saw him play when he was at Colorado against Illinois and had an outstanding game.
6'1", 290, 23 years of age. Perfect size for that nose tackle position, huh? The stump. 3rd down and 8. They've been successful on 3rd down situations. They got another one. Colbert makes the catch at the 20-yard line, and Hammerschmidt's laying there saying, I should have picked that off. Stallworth made the tackle. Hammerschmidt was in front and thought maybe he could have grabbed that.
This is the same pattern they ran on the last 3rd down situation. Slot receiver to the inside of your screen there. See him run that square in there and just sort of settle right inside there. The safety, Hammerschmidt, was actually too deep moving over parallel.
1st down and 10.
Ready.
Double tight ends. They'll give it to Ivory Lee Brown off left tackle. Down to the, let's call it the 17-yard line. Gain of about 3. Gary Howe and John Carter, who's checked into the game, number 72, out of Pitt, make the stop. There's a look at Carter, 6'4", 290.
He was at Raleigh-Durham last year. Didn't win a football game. 0 for 10. He's only got 2 on his credit this year.
Well, yeah, but he started out great. First 2 of the year. I mean, he figured, wow, I come to the right place.
Yeah. Plus the brat's good.
Ivory Lee Brown, there's a look at him, 6'2", 250, 2nd and 7. Johnson's in some trouble. He's going to try to throw it. Man wide open. Williams, touchdown.
Can you believe
Boy,
that?
you go from disaster to victory. And has this guy, Ronnie Williams, been in the right place at the right time tonight?
Third touchdown.
Third
One
touchdown.
of by accident, and this was almost an accident. Play action, see, they're going to boots out. He comes out, and Carter, 72's got him contained. They're coming after him. He stands right in there and throws a strike. Here he is right down the hole. The big guy gets it into the touchdown. Oh, my gosh. When it's going right, it's going right. They should save some of this for next week.
Well, Ronnie Williams with his 3rd touchdown reception, and Gallery to attempt the point after. He's 15 of 15 on the year and make it 16 of 16. First time a Rider receiver's ever had a 3-touchdown game.
You see the coverage, the linebacker was supposed to be covering him, number 55, and he didn't get there.
Third down and 4.
Down.
Crowd still cheering.
Down.
Ooh, Cochran got a little hairy in there for a moment. He's going to take it outside, and he's going to run with it. He got to the mark already. And the crowd's on their feet as Chris Cochran will run it. Inside the 35 for the first down.
Showed good foot speed right there. You know, he gets back there and scrambles. He's a big guy at 6'4", 230, but he can run. He ran for over 380 yards in his senior year in college, showing good mobility here. Now watch a little footwork here, Raj. Look at it. Boop, boop, boop. He gives a little move, gets a block right there. First down.
Now, though, the officials are saying that maybe he didn't get to the first down marker.
Hey, be nice to him, officials. Let him play.
Chris Cochran from Scarsdale, New York, attended Cornell. Now look at this. There's the marker. He's going for it. And
yeah, he made it.
Well,
right there. Come on, put that foot down. Yeah, fourth down.
They're going to call it fourth down. So Cochran will bring him up fourth down with 10:42 to go, fourth quarter.
That wasn't a gimme, I'll tell you that.
Well, just needed to get across the 35-yard line. Cochran was funny in practice the other day. He came up to you. He was a big New York Giants fan, and he said, "Coach, I got to ask you, who was the running back in that game, the Eagles-Giants game, when Pisarcik?"
Yeah, it was Zonka.
It was Zonka.
Yeah, he asked that right off the bat. You know, it's amazing how he was a young kid at that time. That's 1978.
78?
Yeah, just a puppy. I think he's got a future here with the Galaxy. Well, I know that Jack Elway and his staff are very pleased with what they've got out of him.
You know, the three teams, Dick, whose quarterbacks have started every game are combined 19-5-1, and that's Orlando with Mitchell, Sacramento with Archer, and Birmingham with Norseth, and it just figures those are playoff teams, huh?
You've got to keep your people healthy, you know, especially in a 10-game season.
Yeah, and Johnson's been in here since about the third game of the season, so he's performed steadily.
Yeah.
And where are they going to? Oh, they're going to give it to San Antonio.
Oh, I can't
believe that.
I
didn't make it, and a penalty marker is thrown.
But it's after. It's still a first down going the other way, but it's 1st and 15. But come on, guys, give him a break. Come on, Gary. You can remember when that's Gary Lane. He can remember when he played football.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 92 on San Antonio, 15-yard penalty, first down, 25.
That's Rob White. So he gets a 15-yard penalty over the mark of the ball, which they won because it would have gone over to San Antonio.
So it's 1st and 25.
You think he might have said something personally to an official out there?
I don't know. He can't believe it. It's not his style. You know, some of the personalities on the team that we've seen some things that might once in a while entice an official to throw it.
Maybe Jim could go ask Rob White exactly what he said to the official. So a big break there for the Frankfurt Galaxy. 10:29 to go. That's Greg Ross you're looking at. Brad Gable now has come in for San Antonio. So that was after the play.
Yep.
So San Antonio will maintain possession on the penalty. Brad Gable has checked into the game out of Baylor University, Philadelphia Eagles. And Richard, a couple little juke moves in the backfield, maybe gets about a half yard. Well, Brad Gable started off the year as a starting quarterback, 37 of 60, 394 yards, a touchdown, 3 interceptions, completed 61% of his passes, but got injured and didn't get his job back.
They didn't want to change because they started winning, and they just felt, by gosh, we might lose the momentum we've gained. That's happened around the league to other people as well. It was always my philosophy to go back with the guy. A guy could never lose his job by getting hurt. Maybe I was wrong.
Mike Johnson on the sideline. Outstanding night. 370 yards passing. Fumble, loose ball, and Frankfurt comes up with it. Look at, is it big? Yes, it is. Wlaf Hoppel with the fumble recovery. The Operation Discovery player with the fumble recovery, his first fumble recovery. George Murioka
Listen to him.
made the tackle.
They're going to play the German national anthem. He had the ball. He juked him on the line of scrimmage here. He has it tucked away firmly, just like you should right there. And that big arm came around by George Murioka, came around and popped it out of there. Now comes big Wlaf, makes the aggressive move.
Oh, big Wlaf.
Good job, Wlaf.
All right. Oh, now Cochran fumbles it. Can you believe it, though? Listen to this. They recovered one of their own fumbles. They had fumbled 14 balls and had lost 13. And look at Olaf's not going to let that football go.
Plus, if he squeezed it, he popped it.
Look at, he says that. He says, man, you watch that.
Look at this
And
guy.
when this game's over, I want to come back here and find that football.
You know, last year the coaches said he was very hard to coach because he could not understand why he wasn't playing more. You know,
well, I would hate to be the coach to explain it to him. 2nd and 12. Now Cochran will send it out to the far side. He's got Buchanan. Buchanan to the 15-yard line, and that'll bring up a 3rd down after 7 yards on the completion.
Boy,
Albert Williams, 54, made the tackle with 9:06 to go 4th quarter.
That's a difficult catch. When you have to be running away from the line of scrimmage and spin all the way around and make the catch. You always try to coach your quarterback to throw the ball to a position that allows the receiver to keep running. That's nitpicking, yes, but they learn to do it.
Wlaf Hempel.
Wlaf.
Somebody's going to find him in the NFL.
Hey, I would sign him. I really would. I'd sign him and bring him in and work the heck out of him. One thing, he's got strength.
3rd down and 5 at the 15. Cochran and Bobby Humphrey with the defensive play over there. The intended receiver is Lou Barnes, and it was very close to being an interception.
Great coverage. Bobby Humphrey, he was sitting in his lap. Bobby's played for a long time, as you said. 5 career pass interceptions. You know, one time
started 103 games in the NFL.
I know it. But you know, one time he led the NFL with a 30.7 average kick and return. That's pretty good. And here he is. Here he is. He was thinking about scoring with that one. I'm going to take that one away and score.
4th down and 5. Frankfurt 1 of 2 on 4th down conversions tonight. Cochran steps up. Fortune!
No touchdown.
Didn't get it.
They gave it. Oh, I see.
Oh, they counted it?
Yeah.
They counted it.
The end zone's different.
I see, and a penalty marker goes down, but I don't think he had possession of it. To me, it didn't look like the ball was bouncing off his head.
But, Raj, the end zone has 2 markings.
Yeah, I see that, because we were talking to the San Antonio defenders before the game about that very thing. There's some AstroTurf that's laid down over the end zone.
You'll see.
My question was whether he had possession.
You have to have possession of the ball and both feet down. All right, there's the ball.
It's off his head.
1 foot down, both foot down.
It's still on his head.
Still on his head. There's his feet on the line, and he still doesn't have possession.
Well, either that or he's holding the ball against his helmet.
They had to rule that he held it against his helmet.
It was a great catch. Great catch. 15-yard touchdown on a 4th and 5. And for Chad Fortune, his 5th touchdown reception of the year, as Robbie Keane will come on to attempt the point after. And Keane knocks it up and through. We were talking to several of the San Antonio defensive backs before the game about that very area, and we'll come back and take a look at it when we return to Frankfurt. Cochran's 2nd touchdown pass of the night. Way to use your head, Chad.
Where the San Antonio Riders lead the Galaxy 34-14 midway through the 4th quarter.
Well, Dick, the back of the end zone there covers up some grass, and then there's boards underneath that artificial surface.
That's right, Raj. This part right here is regular turf. This is AstroTurf here, and then this is board covered by AstroTurf right there. Players were a little bit upset about that in the pregame warm-up.
Yeah, especially the San Antonio defensive backs. And nonetheless, Chad Fortune was ruled as having possession with both feet in, and so...
And the ball on the helmet.
And the ball on the helmet. Yeah. And we saw the flag for the unsportsmanlike penalty. So look for the onside kick here by Robbie Keane at the 50. They're loaded to the near side. Pretty good bounce, but right there to pick it up was 24 Chris Oldham. Now Brad Gable back in at quarterback. 8:16 to go. 34-14. San Antonio with the lead.
It's a running formation.
Dwayne Jones is in there, number 34, and they're going to throw to the near side to Titus Dixon. He's out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Gain of about 5.
This is great that they can give Brad Gable some work again. He's probably a little bit rusty, and maybe the reason they're throwing the ball on in a situation where you normally be trying to eat up the clock.
Dick, you know, the Riders played turnover-free football last week against Barcelona. That was for the third time in 8 games so far this year. And they've had a couple of turnovers tonight. But nonetheless, they have looked better and better. Their offense is so much better now than it was earlier this year. as Richard gets it, spins, and look at him go. Richard, a pass midfield, look at him high-step it. Richard inside the 40 to the 39-yard line, and what a run there by Cisco Richard. Tim Brody makes the tackle, and was that some kind of action? 18 yards on the pickup.
Actually, some offensive linemen missed some blocks right there on the line of scrimmage. He gets by and gets off the penetration right there. He reels, he keeps working his feet. Look at good, outstanding effort. This kid just does not want to go down.
He carried Brody for 10 yards on that play, and then he spikes it and said, yeah, man. Cisco Richard, 5'11", 209. Flashy player out of Northeast Louisiana. On 1st and 10, they'll throw it near side to Dante Whitaker, the tight end. And Lionel Mayo was on the coverage. 7 minutes left to go. Birmingham with the 4-point lead over Orlando. And London all over Montreal in the 4th. Next week, Birmingham is at Ohio, and Sacramento and San Antonio will tee it up in San Marcos, Texas. So the Western Division Championship will be on the line next week.
You know, they've got to travel back and then play again on Saturday night, right?
We'll check out the schedule in just a moment. 2nd down and 10. Gable will give it to Richard, and Cisco Richard still pumping. Gets inside the 35 to the 34. Lionel Mayo will make the stop, and Saturday, this is the schedule, will be at the Meadowlands. Montreal and the Knights will finish up the year. Barcelona at Orlando, and then London at Frankfurt, Sacramento at San Antonio, Birmingham at Ohio. And the Ohio Glory playing better football toward the end of the year. 3rd and 4 for Brad Gable and the San Antonio Riders. They throw that pass trying to come inside, but that time a better job by the defense. Wayne Walker, the reception. Johnny Thomas wasn't off him, Dick, as much that time, so he was able to make the stop.
Yeah, and it was a short pass in front of him. It was blitz coverage, and he attacked right as the quarterback threw the football. Good timing, and nailed him.
And that'll bring in Kent Sullivan for his first punt of the night.
Isn't that something?
Sullivan was talking about how he, out of high school, just didn't have the money really to go to college, went in the Army for 4 years, and then went to Cal Lutheran. 41.7 average, best in the World League, and he's standing just inside his 50. So he said he was kind of interested in being here in Frankfurt. A lot of the Army personnel. He never served overseas. He'll angle it for the near side, end over end kick. Penalty marker is down.
Nice
as that
kick.
will go out of bounds at about the 5-yard line. Inside the 20, he's had 11 punts down.
All of a sudden the stadium was quiet.
12 men, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 4th down.
So 12 men on the field for Frankfurt. 5-yard penalty. Still will be 4th down, but they might get into Jim Gallery's range. This has been quite an experience for me, Mr. Vermeil, coming to Spain and Germany. And I'll tell you what, the football fans in both Barcelona and Frankfurt are really incredible. I mean, I hope this thing continues to go over there, because there are a lot of people that really enjoy it. Chris Cochran swings it out to Bartolo. That goes out of the end zone. That was thrown behind him. Let's go down to Jim Valvano. Jim?
Thanks, Roger. You thought that Cisco Richard was doing some high stepping. Hey, nothing compared to the high stepping we were doing. Right, 11 days ago this started. Here it came. We came over across the ocean, right to Madrid, between the PNEA there in Spain. Went over to do our game over in Barcelona. You know what? The club didn't show up for a while. So what did? We took the dip in the Mediterranean, then played about 4 rounds of golf. Not bad. It's time to go to Frankfurt for tonight's wonderful experience. And then go home. No, not me. That's right. I'm going to the booth, visit some relatives, then go back. That's 33 meals, 11 days, 4 rounds of golf. Hey, somebody's got to do it.
Hey, Jim, we kind of ate our way through Europe, didn't we? I mentioned on that last play where the ball was thrown behind Bartolo and then went out of the end zone. Dick, this is going to be a safety.
Yeah, they ruled it as a safety. You'll see here, he's throwing it real short. Bartolo swinging to the right. Now he throws it backwards away from the line of scrimmage, see? There, and it goes out of bounds. That's a 2-pointer in the end zone.
So everything that could go wrong is going wrong for the Galaxy. It's been a tough night for this guy, Chris Cochran. rejoin the action in the final minute with the Riders camped on Frankfurt's 1-yard line, and they're looking for one more score.
We got guys walking by with Knicks hats, Steelers hats,
A guy
even a
came,
Philadelphia Eagles fan.
Yeah.
Richard's still driving. He's not going to get it. Willie Don Wright made sure of it. The initial hit there by 57
You know, the other
of
thing
the Galaxy is Vepi Pau.
The other thing that surprised me, you know, most of the music here, the words are in English. And most of these people are German and don't understand English, but they like the music anyway, and they get involved with it.
Well, you know what I've found in my short stay here?
There's a lot of them do understand it.
A lot of Germans certainly do speak it, and very well, with very little or no accent. As Brad Gable got in. They're going to call it a touchdown for Brad Gable with 15 seconds.
The Galaxy will remember that next year, believe me. They will have, that'll be a big motivation tool all
Yeah, go
week.
ahead, keep him in there.
Coach Riley.
Might as well get some. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
but remember
Don
this.
Wennington, defensive line coach.
Let's remember this. In the case of a tiebreaker,
I know
in the World League, it does come down to points. So you
does in the NFL too.
But you can't, so you can't take this personally,
No,
can you, Dick?
no, you can't.
If the Galaxy wants to remember it, fine. You know, but you got to do what you got to do.
Right.
And if you got a chance to score 6 and now 7, you got to take advantage of it. You'd sure be kicking yourself, wouldn't you, if it did come down to a tiebreaker and you said, well, we didn't want to score another touchdown?
My football team in '80 won the NFC Championship on points.
Is that right?
In the tiebreaker with Dallas. Okay, so
Aren't you glad you rubbed it? Aren't you glad you rubbed it in a couple times?
I don't think we ever had to do that, or we're fortunate enough to do it.
Gallery kicked it through. He slipped after he kicked it, and he is perfect on the season. And Jack Elway, that's Alex Espinoza, and Mike Perez, a couple of the injured quarterbacks.
Jack, I've been there. I know how it feels.
Yeah, that'll be 7 in a row.
You know, if you try to explain the feeling of a losing coach to a person that's in a normal walk of life, they cannot understand why you're so emotionally involved in what you do for a living. They really can't. They think you're crazy.
Well,
here goes this music. Listen.
Let's just listen. Always look on the bright side of life.
With the score 43-14, San Antonio demonstrated why they are in the hunt in the final ball game of the season to win their division championship. It's been nice to be with you, ladies and gentlemen. Hope very much you've enjoyed the ball game and the Galaxy fans. He doesn't look very sad, does he? Players are so resilient. Plus, they sort of get used to losing when you've lost 8 in a row. It's not a good feeling, but you learn to accept it and get lined up to play the next week. That guy used to live in Philadelphia. Richard Buchanan, nice seam pattern down the middle, double slot formation. They're going to come up there and try to throw the ball down and kill the clock.
Oh, yeah.
We better get it snapped if he's... No, they're going to throw the ball. They're not going to try to kill the clock. They're going to try to throw it downfield. Oh, that'll kill the game right there. It's over.
So, not even looking on the bright side helped for the Galaxy. Mike Riley's Riders complete a 2-game sweep in Europe, while Jack Elway's Galaxy slumped miserably to their 7th consecutive loss. And as both sides leave the field, let's check out now the other results from Week 9 in the World League. Wins for Sacramento and Birmingham means that North America West remains very tight. New York, New Jersey won't be going to the playoffs, and they took out their frustrations by stuffing Barcelona. And 3 defensive scores helped the Monarchs to their first win since opening day. It's been a long time coming. Barcelona are going to the playoffs despite losing their last 3. Elsewhere in the European division, the Monarchs are off the bottom at last at Frankfurt's expense. North America East, the Orlando Thunder have done just enough to hold off New York, New Jersey. The Knights have won 5 straight, but that bad start means that they'll miss out on the postseason. And this is where the fun starts. Sacramento and San Antonio meet next week with the North America West title at stake. It's really all on the line for those two, with the Fire poised to claim the wild card and the losers of that Riders Surge game in danger of missing the playoffs. We're back in the Waldstadion on Saturday here on Screen Sport. The London Monarchs and the Frankfurt Galaxy wrap up their 1992 campaigns. Catch the action weekend live on Saturday evening at 6 in the company of me, Nick Halling, and my colleague Mike Carlson. That's it for this week. It's goodbye from the Waldstadion, where the San Antonio Riders defeated the Galaxy 43-14, but it couldn't wipe the smile off Galaxy fans' faces. Bye-bye.